Initialize dampeners. Cut into feed. Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
We have a great product in the shop that we're excited to share with you. Check it out on our site.
I did not mean for that to happen. I was trying to get up to turn off something and my mouse moved over on me. Welcome to live television, folks, where anything can happen. Anyway, back to where we were. We didn't get the whole intro and we got Manic Plastic in there instead, who's not really with us tonight, but he may be in the chat. I don't know. Let me go ahead and get Joneser in here and let's get this show started.
What's up, everybody? It's Joneser, your favorite comic book guy. So let's do this.
So am I to understand, Bill, that we started our blooper show with a blooper?
We did. We absolutely did start the show with a blooper. I don't even know if I was unmuted when I was saying that we started the show. I messed up my mouse and moved. I was scrolling up to try to turn off the starting soon overlay, and apparently my mouse slipped over and hit the Manic Plastic opener there, and I couldn't stop it. So I'm
I saw it playing and I knew it shouldn't. And instead of like, oh no, poor Bill, oh, what's going to happen? I just started laughing.
That's all you can do in those situations. It's live. Who knows what's going to happen?
I figured, hey, we're doing this.
It was a mistake, but hey, mistakes can be fun. Let's check on the chat here. Thank you for being here tonight. I know Oz is over there with the clubhouse, and that thing is probably going to go all night long. And he is pushing Brick something's channel to try to get him the watch hour so he can monetize. If I have a wrench in the room, go ahead and put Brick Something's link up there so folks can go subscribe to him and start watching some of his stuff. He was on with me once before. Might have been a late night. I can't remember. Might have been a Sunday show talking about the toy line Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. So let's all give him some support. Ocean Breeze. Go ahead, Joneser.
I've been a fan of his for a while. He's got a great channel over there, got a great program, and I love his his style of how he does the videos, which he's a little unique, sets him apart. So I like that.
He's a good guy, and he's very knowledgeable about the things that he talks about. Firsty McFirstface says OBS. Yes, you were here first. You beat Johnny Sorensen for, Moving on down, Miss Deborah's here. Good to see you. I'm glad you showed up. And she wishes you and Mrs. Jones are a happy anniversary. And so does OBS. And she says she needs some cheering up. Well, we got you covered. Miss Jamie is here with us. Hello there. And her buddy Mike Fee is with us as well. Hello there, Mike. Glad you could make it. And OBS has got coffee and vodka, so she's trying to get some balance going on there. I get it. All Music Fan 88, good to have you with me. I'm a mess. My cat's sick. I'm trying to save him. Oh, is he that sick? I hope that a veterinarian is involved, and I hope things work out well because I'm a cat guy myself. I have a cat, and I've always had a pet cat here in the house, and I've had one live so long that it left me, and then that can be a sad thing when they get to be that old. So I hope everything works out for you. And George Valentine, it's good to see you, sir. He says good evening to me and the chat and everyone else. And moving on down. Joneser, did you get the package? Bill, did you send it yet? Bill has been sitting on his hands. I've got the package here. Now, this box here, OBS, is not what you wanted to send it to him in. I have that inside of here, but we're going to send comic books in a box. We don't send them in a mailer. So I've got him covered. I've got 2 more boxes over here. One's got a Robin in it. That's going to Epic Badger. And one's got a Moss Man in it, Mike Fee. I'm going to get you going, get you all hooked up, but I've got to get some stickers put on them. It'll be probably next week before Paula hits the post office and sends them off for me. So just stay tuned, folks. They're going. The show is starting. Okay, yeah, that must be my show. OBS says I sent those posters to Rolo, never got them, probably got stolen. Aww. Look, the thing about sending anything to Mexico, you never know whether it's going to get there or not. A lot of times it hits customs and you never see it again. And who knows about Rolo? He was living in a hospice. I think he's living in a hospital right now. So I don't know if he's able to get anything or what. Flocked Panther can't beat it, right? And a blooper. Yes, we started the show out with a complete blooper. That was my fault. There is Sir Clifton with us. Hello, sir. Glad you could join us. Put him on the screen. There we go. I'm blooping, says OPS. Okay. Yes, awesome. We have a dynamic duo here, Bill and Joneser. Let's do this. They've been watching your show, Joneser.
I guess so. That's awesome.
Only 8 hours, Bill. 8 hours. Well, tonight is turn back the clock night, so everybody gets an extra hour tonight. And thank you, Gojatron. I know you're always on top of things. So there it is, folks. That's how you get to Brick Something's channel. Check it out. Watch his videos. He's needing watch hours. Subscribe to him, of course, but he needs those watch hours. How's it going? It is going. I had a much better week this week than I have in a while. I'll tell you a little story there, Joneser. Probably don't know a lot. Nobody in here knows a lot about CNC machines, but there's a thing of speed and feed. If you work with machines, you kind of get what I'm talking about. That spindle operates at a speed. The rate in which it goes down into the part is the feed rate. There's an optimal on that they need to be at in order to do the work they need to do and to optimize tool life. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. We have a production supervisor who is a nice guy, and I like him. He's pretty good. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's been buying cheaper tools, and he's been messing with the feed rate, trying to get those tools to last as long as the expensive tools. But unfortunately, the cheaper tools will not last as long as the more expensive tool. And so he bought some.
And you also lost some production doing that, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take me long to figure that out, did I?
No. All right. So as a result of all of this, the more expensive tools have been bought and put it back into the machine. But the feed rate and the speed rates were not changed back to what they used to be, which were optimized to that nice, expensive tool. And let's just say that it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission sometimes. I got over there and I looked up one of the older programs that was still in the memory of the machine. Took a picture of that block of code and went over and altered the code back to what it used to be in the program that we're running now. And by God, that tool lasted all week long.
And you got some shit done.
I got some shit done, Jack. Absolutely. And we were out in the backyard smoking, the other day. It's been cold, so we've been going instead of the north side of the building to the south side of the building in the sun to smoke. And Dan came out there and he said, "Well, I see y'all been getting some good use out of the tools since I bought the new ones. And I did fix the feed rate on that." And I said, "No, you didn't, brother." I said, "I'm going to go ahead and admit to you right now, I changed that feed rate back to what it used to be and the speed too. And that's why the tool's not breaking. That's why the strings are not wrapping around the spindle when it's running. That's why it tightly wound, scrap coming off the end of that tool." And he said, "Oh, well, as long as y'all are keeping those tools going, I don't care." And that's what I figured he would think. Proof's in the pudding. Gojitron saying happy anniversary to you and the little lady there.
Thank you.
All right. Got him to the vet, get a bunch of shots, some meds. It's only been 4 days. Doesn't seem to be getting better, but it's only been 4 days. Do what the vet says. Give the cat the medicine. I know the cat probably isn't being cooperative, but you do the best to get that stuff down his gullet, and hopefully he or she will pull through. Everybody wishing you a happy anniversary there, Joneser. Who's the lazy bastard? Me?
Probably for not sending out the mail.
Yeah, that's me. I am the lazy bastard. I will admit that. I am a very, very lazy bastard. Matter of fact, I was a lazy bastard today. Knowing that the poor wife had to work all night last night, I didn't want to make her think that she had to cook or anything when she got home. So I went to the Sonic and got us something to eat there. And of course, the old Bill couldn't help it. He got the great big thing of tater tots with chili and cheese and jalapenos all in it. And I ate all that and went to sleep this afternoon. But I did get the show produced. I got up in time to produce this show. So don't worry about that. We got some show tonight. The tracker said it was in Philly. That was the last word. Oh, talking about the package going to Rolo? Who knows?
I think so.
And there is Susudio. Hey, what's going on, Susudio? Using some of her brand. She's able to put these special emojis in the chat because she is a channel member. Channel members get their own selection of super emojis that you can use. And OBS says, I click the likes for everyone, even if I can't watch. Well, that helps. That helps.
That does help.
And Mike Fee says, I also sent a link to Brick. Thank you, sir. Duchess of Darkness, good to see you. I'm sorry that you didn't win the contest, but I had you in it. I didn't see you there, but you can always go back and rewatch. That was a pretty rough stream that day, though. I was having some issues.
Yeah, we were having a lot of latency issues, a lot of lag. That was a hard one to get through.
And I've noticed that happens a lot on Sundays. I'm pretty sure it's because of the amount of traffic that's on the line that day. I have cable. I get my internet through my cable company, so it affects that. Black Phoenix 77, good to see you, sir. What's OBS saying here? I was a certified machine op building computer boards for 8 years. Got screwed when the whole plant sold in Mexico. Been downhill ever since. Still downhill. Oh yeah. NAFTA was a great thing, was it not, Joneser? Boy, it really helped the economy, didn't it?
Nope.
No, it didn't. We had a clothing manufacturing plant here in the small town that I live in called Garin. You may have heard of them. They're still around. They make polo shirts, kind of like Izod shirts, but Garin brand. And I would say 90% of the town was employed by this plant. They packed up ship, moved to Mexico as soon as NAFTA got passed, and threw the whole town into an economic slump that we're still in to this very day. So yeah, everybody dance now. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody dance now. Lord have mercy. Well, we were driving people away now. Okay, we need to quit.
No way. People like bad singing. American Idol proves it.
Right. All right. Everything's plastic collectibles and reviews is heading to bed. When you take care, Chris, and I'm glad you stopped by to say hello to us. Make sure you leave some likes on the stream and head over to Brick Something and give him some love too if you haven't already done so. Alex, wishing you a happy anniversary there, Jones.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a good one.
So is Sir Clifton. Wishing you a happy anniversary. We've tickled OBS. You came here looking for some uplifted stuff, so I'm happy to do that for you, OBS. We got some fun tonight. So Chris, giving you a happy anniversary as well. The Briscoe is here, wishing you a happy anniversary, Joneser. And yeah, here we go. Everybody dance now.
Give me the music.
There's old Digger riding in his hot rod. I'll have to show off those weirdos that I have in my collection. I have 2 built and I have 1 yet to be built. So I'm going to build that motorcyclist Davey. I'm going to build him one of these days. Cheese and jalapenos on a steak semi with fried onions and marinara sauce.
Girl after my own heart, man.
Speaking of heart attacks, I swear I'm going to send you the recipe for tuna fish rare bit open face sandwich.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
I know you forget about that all the time, but one of these days I'm going to remind you in time for you to get that thing made.
We will make it. We will eat it. We will do it. We might have to revisit that video just to remind our audience of what I'm signing up for here.
Absolutely. And if you haven't watched it, a long time ago, I think Goji Trunk can remember this. We watched a little girl named Tuna Fish Sally who had a boyfriend who was coming over to eat supper with the family, and her and her mom went in and made this nasty sandwich. And yeah.
And I thought it looked good.
And then made the mistake of telling me that he would eat such a monstrosity.
I still will.
Garen, the maker of Garanimals. I don't know if they make Garanimals or not, but I do know that the plant that was here made the polo shirts like the Izod, the one with the alligator on it, but instead of the alligator, it had Garen's symbol on it. But they had tax break here in town. They used to do things for the town. They sponsored Little League Baseball. They would chip in money to get the roads, repaved. They built a sewer treatment plant for the town at one point, and then they packed up ship and left, and the town never recovered. And what we got here? Yes, do a karaoke night. You don't know what you're in for. As a matter of fact, if you want to see hilarity, go watch Sunday's stream from last Sunday when I'm in the middle of doing this toy presentation on the table, and then suddenly my internet takes a big dump and I'm gone. And Joneser is left by himself with the chat. Now, I haven't watched this yet, Joneser, but apparently you sang to them.
Oh,
and
yeah. Entertained the audience and I entertained the audience in my best fashion.
When I got back, the chat was inundating me. Bill, never leave us alone with this man ever again. And then
see, I looked at it as an opportunity. It was like, okay, Bill's gone. That sucks. But now what do? I'm on the spot. So and you just start doing stuff.
Jones, or tell Bill the statute of limitation is up on that tuna thingy. Look at that! Look at that sicky face on there. Deborah was the one that told me never leave us alone with you ever again. And then she goes, "He sang to us." I can just hear the
You want to
tone.
know what's funny? If
What?
it happens again, I'm gonna do it again.
I would figure that would be the case. And of course, here's the diplomat here. It was great, and he did a good job.
Well, I mean, I've been on stage playing in rock bands and whatnot, and you have stuff happen. Stuff happens all the time. Either like the guitar cuts out, or the microphone dies, or something happens, and you got to think on the fly. So yeah, like this All Music Fan 88 says, as a musician, he can respect that. That's where that came from. The show must go on. So you just pick up the pieces and you do what you do with whatever you got left. And so I did not have a ditty prepared. So I think I Beavis and Buttheaded something where I just got to like or whatever I did. I can't even remember.
Beavis and Buttheaded something. I like that. All right. Let me like I said, these are, I was telling Jones this, these little things that we're going to watch tonight are going to be going from mediocre to number one funny. So Miss Post says she can sing like Edith Bunker. Well, actually,
those were the days.
How our LaSalle ran. You know, actually, I love that song.
I do too.
That is a beautiful song, and the way they sang that at the beginning of that show was a beautiful thing. I mean, yeah,
it was a good show.
It was
a good show that a lot of people. It has a lot of controversy for all the wrong reasons. I mean, people think that he's racist and whatnot and dated, and I mean, you know, maybe he is, maybe he isn't in today's landscape.
The thing is, Archie was ignorant, and we know he was ignorant. But the other thing was he had a big heart, and usually he got his comeuppance when it came to that kind of stuff in the episode. And then you go into the deeper ones. You know, Norman Lear was a genius. Okay, you get into the deeper episodes, and you find that underneath all Archie, this is a wall that Archie's built around himself. He even admits, and this was all Carol O'Connor's doing, by the way. He has Archie admit why he acts the way he does, and it's because of the way he was raised, his childhood, and when he broke down and told Edith that without her he was nothing. I mean, that was one of the, you know, that was a, you know, put a tear in your eye.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that was a great moment for that show. And yeah, it does get you emotional when you watch it, because, you know, you realize he is more than what he appears.
And speaking of meathead, not only was the meathead a meathead on the show, but the actor playing the meathead is also a meathead, in my opinion. My not so humble opinion, but yeah, it was a good show, and for the time it was groundbreaking. I don't think they could ever make a show like that again today. 1 year at the award show, Carol O'Connor said they made me say that stuff. Well, some of the things he was made to say, but see, he would sneak things in because, see, Carol O'Connor is the type of actor that when he takes on a role, in his mind, he creates a backstory for the character. He doesn't tell anybody that. He's not overt about it. That's the way he portrays the character. He knows all of this stuff, and you find out these things in bits and pieces as you watch the show, as he presents them to you when he has a chance to.
What he was saying, he said that jokingly. He didn't, you know what I mean? He was playing a bit there.
Speaking of bits, I'm going to start our first bit tonight. Now, these are all from not only just QVC, but also Home Shopping Network. If you remember, and I think these things are still on TV, but they used to be very pervasive. And usually you would go over to your great aunt's house or your grandmom's house, and this shit would be on TV 24/7, and they
My
would watch.
mother-in-law.
Yeah, they would watch this shit, and you couldn't understand why. Well, maybe there was a reason they were watching this stuff, because it was usually live. They usually had presenters on the show, and sometimes they would take phone calls from the audience. And sometimes these could it could be fun. The British series Till Death Do Us Part, yes. Kind of like Sanford and Son was based on Steptoe and Son. And if you've never seen Steptoe and Son, you really need to. They were rag and bone men. I can't forget, if not for that show, we wouldn't have gotten those Sally Struthers commercials where she says the classic, "For the price of a cup of coffee, you can save a little child in Africa." I'm back. No more drinking. I got a cheeseburger. Okay. Put something on your stomach. Yeah. And Briscoe agrees with me. The meathead is a meathead in real life. Yes, he is. He's a piece of work. All right. Here we go, Jonesy. You and I will watch this together, and let's see what everyone thinks about this.
A wonderful way to decorate around the holidays. And in this case, Valerie, bigger is better. Look at them. They're amazing.
Aren't they great? I love the size of the presents. Caps for storage. So there's a little handle here that you can just pop down and make it a little, let me use two hands. You make it a little shorter. Actually, I'm not able to do that. Anyway, It does go down and up.
That's because
he does, and then you put the.
So sometimes the stuff just doesn't work the way they want it to,
Right.
when they and it just doesn't work out for them. So, yeah, that's the first one. Yes, that's a little mediocre there, but kind of give you an idea of what we're going for here. Not necessarily exactly the way the presenters thought that it was going to go for them, and it's fun to watch them try to get over the fact that this product is now probably not going to sell because people realize, hey, this shit don't work.
Yeah, it's just like we were talking earlier. You got to roll with the screw up. Just got to make it work.
Speaking of screw ups, check this one out. Beautiful ring. I wouldn't buy it.
holding it up to this crown of elongated Sleeping Beauty turquoise. Now let me share with you.
$200.
It's a little. It's about half an inch. Oh, good. Nice. That one just came off. So
and the stone just popped right off. Right out of the setting.
Wow.
Well, clearly that wasn't supposed to happen. Good thing we have a.
Don't spoil things, right? OBS. Right, don't spoil things. Yeah, I saw some of those, and there were, and I almost put them in here, but it does look fake. As a matter of fact, when that stone popped right out of the setting like it was glued in, and they want $230 for this piece of crap with 5 easy payments of $45.80. They can keep that.
Oh, that was the first thing I said. $200 freaking dollars for that. What is it?
See, I used to watch QVC in the 90s when they would occasionally have comic book shows. They sold a little bit of everything on that show, and I think it's still around.
It is.
I think there are people who are addicted to just buying shit. They just buy all that shit on QVC constantly. I don't know. All right, let's go. That was number 9. Let's go to number 8. Let's see if it gets any better from here on out.
Wipe the ring off. That's hilarious.
Now, add that to the stage. Add it to the stage. There we go.
Towel. Now, we're going to take the same 12 ounces of liquid, and we're going to take the 14 by 14 puppy fur towel and just kind of drop it in here and kind of push it down and let it absorb and get all of that. It's not even, look at this. It is not doing the job. But you know what, David? We will. Look at that. We're gonna move on from that one, David, because it's not even.
Let's also remind you that this is available in lots of great colors. So let's take you through colors and walk you through what we've got
It just
to
doesn't
choose
work. But yeah, you can get whatever color you want.
Don't work, but get all these pretty colors. What he didn't realize, what he didn't realize is that those chamois towels like that have to already be wet before they can do their job. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. QVC has 2 channels. I don't doubt that. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's going to buy that thing, just hung the phone up. Yeah. I mean,
It's right. Yeah.
QVC did some cool NFL stuff back in the day. I used to buy some. Okay. I never bought a damn thing from the Home Shopping Network. Did you?
I've had them gifted. My mother-in-law was one of those people who watched this and ordered from it all the time, and so we've had stuff gifted.
Wait, were those guy hands? I guess talking about the hands soaking the towel in the water. Yeah, that thing was basically the same thing as a ShamWow. The ShamWow works the same way. It will soak up all that shit, but you got to have it's got to be wet first. If it's not wet, it doesn't work. You got to get it. It's like a sponge. You got to put some in it for it to work. It doesn't make sense, but that's how it works. And of course, a lot of times they send these actors out in the studio to tout this shit that they know nothing about. Let's move on.
Funny. That's
Absolutely.
funny.
Okay, so that was number 8. Let's see what we got here. To set this up. Now remember, we have a live call-in show on QVC, and QVC is a 24-hour show. It runs in the middle of the night. They're selling computers. What do we all know what the internet is for? Avenue Q told us the internet is for blank. All right, here we go.
QVC with a Dell Hour. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Jacqueline. I'm calling from Michigan.
Hi, Jacqueline. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great.
Good. Nice to have you here. What can we do for you, Jacqueline?
Well, I just wanted to call and say,
No, I got the wrong. It's okay. We'll get
Dell
to
is the only
the
computer we have in our house.
Right.
We actually have 3 Dell computers. We've got all of them from QVC.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm actually using the Dell Inspiron laptop that I just got probably a year and a half ago from Dell.
How do you like your laptop?
Oh, I love it. You know what my favorite thing is, Rick?
That's a loaded question. I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. What?
The way it crashes in less than 2 years. In fact, the way all the Dells crash in less than 2 years. That's the best thing about Dell.
Okay. Well, that would be a setup.
You know,
that would be a setup call. And we thank you for calling in, Jacqueline. And we thank you for calling in and saying probably, hey, I love Dell. Love Dell's absolutely wonderful. Please let me talk on the air. And then doing the crank call. Every once in a while, you're going to get a call like that. And you know what? If
it wasn't a crank. That was real pain in her voice.
In terms of
Oh, it was. You could tell she was lividly mad. She had bought this piece of shit Dell computer from them, and she just had to get back at them for it.
Oh, that was great.
That wasn't the clip I thought it was. That's okay. We got that clip. It's coming. It's coming, folks.
Yeah, he's like crank call. Bull crap. She meant every word of that. That was
it wasn't a crank call, Jack. That was not a crank call. That was a real deal. You could tell by the sound in her voice that she was serious. There are some crank calls in here though that they did get them. Let me see if I can get the next one up here.
You know what my favorite feature is? Like how she was still all happy.
Yeah. What's your favorite feature? The fact that it crashes.
Yeah, once
All
every
right.
2 years or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they do. I mean, I think that kind of goes about computers. They just
Well, I mean, you got to
eventually
upgrade
they
the
get.
software and stuff like that. But
Well, it could be because of this next one here. Now, this is the one I thought I was showing, but that's okay. We're showing it now. Here we go.
Calling from?
Hi, my name's Randy.
Hey, Randy, how you doing?
Hi, Randy.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're all right. Where are you calling from, Randy?
I'm calling from Dover, Delaware.
It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning where you are.
It's the only time I have alone with my new Dell, and I love it.
Thank you.
Great. What kind of things are you using your Dell for, Randy?
Well, mostly personal use, like porno.
Oh.
A lot of porno. These Dells are great for porno.
Awesome. We don't guarantee that.
I guarantee it, and I got the porno to prove it.
Have fun, Randy. Thank you so much for the call.
I'll see you guys later. I'll get back to my porno.
Thanks, Randy.
Bye-bye. All right, porno.
All right. You got his, and obviously he's loving it.
oh boy. I'd say
So
that
why are you
surprised
calling
me,
so
but
late
it
at
didn't.
night? It's the only time I have alone with my computer.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, facts. All right. Can we top that?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. This is mid-list. The best is yet to
Pretty
come.
much. Always. The worst is
That
yet
was
to
good,
come is
though.
what they used to say on Batman.
What do you use your computer for? Porno.
Porn. Just come right out. Porn. Did you notice that the presenters never batted an eye on that? They just, the audience was laughing, but the presenters
Right.
Okay, now this is one of 2 ladder fails. The ladder fails are fun, but this one here, I don't know if the guy got hurt. I don't think he got hurt. I think that maybe his pride got hurt. But here you go. Here's the first ladder.
A limited number that we can ship out right now because it is very, very popular. We're going to go to the phones. Hi, you're on the air with Lisa and Kevin. What's your name?
Hi, Lisa. It's Renee from California.
Hey, Renee. Chris is over there, kind of giving us a look at how to use the ladder there.
I got to tell you something. I have this ladder. It is awesome.
Oh, now what
And
do you use it for, Renee?
everybody wants this ladder. I live in an apartment with vaulted ceilings.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're going to make sure that Chris is okay.
And that has never happened.
No.
Well, it's a very slippery floor up there in front of our doors sometimes, so we're going to make sure that Kevin's okay.
Yep.
He's moving, he is okay, but he scared
Chris
me
is
for a
good.
moment
He's
there.
up there. He's okay.
Slippery floor. He was up the freaking ladder.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he's gonna crash. Uh-oh. That wasn't the ladder. He was leaning back. Yeah, it was all on him. I mean, it wasn't the ladder's fault.
It's true.
All
I
right,
went
so
down like that at work on the same type of there's a ladder attached to the mezzanine on one of the machines, and we were cleaning it, and I was coming down. I wasn't that high up, but I thought I was on the step that was going to touch floor, so I dismounted like I was on the step that was going to touch floor, but I was a step above that unexpectedly. And you'd seen when he fell how his leg was like in between one of the rungs. That's what happened to me when I went down. I was a little afraid I was going to break my leg, but luckily that nice hard concrete floor broke my fall good, and there was enough room for my leg to bend the right way. So
as Dutch Mantel says, the concrete don't have any give to it.
no, sir, but I was smart and I put my chin into my chest so I didn't crack my freaking head.
Yeah. Gojitron with some safety advice, folks. Always have a ladder buddy. Safety first. Oh yeah, I done that. Freaking crashed off my porch steps like that. Think you're on the last step, but you ain't. Oh yeah, that last step's a Lulu. All right. Did I get the new one up? Let's see. Is this
it? Looks like it.
So if you're like my nephew, who when his dad had just bought a brand new LCD TV off us here at QVC, 4-meter, who put the hand controller from his Wii through the screen of his LCD telly, and it was a complete write-off.
Whoa.
Okay, you won't find that so much with a plasma TV, and I'm going to do something now that makes a lot of people shy away and get quite angry. Oh, I've broken it. Look at that. I think it's because I've done it so many times
You've been
today.
hammering
I've
it.
been hammering it all day, and now I've done it. But there you go.
No, because
there
they're great big size.
You broke it, you paid for it. You paid for that.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
You're not supposed
this just
to
goes
hit
to
the
prove
TV.
that you don't do that here.
Right. Like you're not supposed to hit the TV, but I'm going to hit the TV to show you you can hit the TV, but look at that. You can't hit the TV.
Yeah. Oh, I broke it. I guess I've been hitting it too much. You've been hitting something too much, dude.
You shouldn't hit it at all. It's a TV. What are you hitting it for?
The chat's enamored by him.
Oh yeah,
smooth move, X-Lax. That's right.
You know, it reminded me of that scene in Napoleon Dynamite when he goes to run over the Tupperware to show it's indestructible, and then he destructs it. Same
Uncle
idea.
Rico. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how durable the Tupperware is. I can run over it with my van.
Right.
Drive off.
Yeah, at that point, you do just drive away. What do you have left to sell?
Nothing. That was number 4. Can it get any better? Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
My parents used to hit the side of the TV back in the day. Well, that was because the television tube was fucking up, and you hit the television side of the TV, and it would jar the tube and make the cathode ray tube start showing the screen correctly again. That was
and those TVs were built like a freaking small meteorite. You know what I mean? That thing could take whatever punishment you could give it, and then some. The thing freaking like a boulder. You know, try to move one of those old TVs from room to room, dude.
It's time to
Those
make
things
that
were practically
transition.
furniture.
Oh yeah, the floor model TVs. You remember those things? They were furniture. It's time to make that smooth transition into the warranty program. There you go, George. Yeah. All right. So let me get that off the screen, and here we go.
Let's sell.
Second, I mean, yeah.
And let's not think about what we're doing.
I remember when we had pups, we've lost our dogs in the past couple, but we used to always let the dogs come and sleep with us on the air mattress too, or at the air bed, because it works.
Yeah, so this one is actually 40% more puncture resistant. So
They got heels on the air mattress. Yeah.
Except for that one time with people on it with heels.
Oh no, now we're going to end up on all kinds.
40% puncture resistant. Let me put my heel through this thing just to show you how puncture resistant it ain't.
Right. Ray Charles could have saw that coming.
All right. All right. Do they get any better? Can they get any better? Have I picked the right ones for the right numbers, folks? Let me know in the comments.
Definitely gotten better. Although I think the guy asking about the porn would have been should have been up a little higher than that one. Or the lady
We'll find out.
The lady ripping on the thing breaking in 2 years.
Dell computer. All right, here we go. Let's move into the next one. Let's make an aquarium out of the dead TV. Here we go. Those things flatten after you sleep in them one night. They do, OBS. I've never had one that lasted all night long.
No, you're on the floor by the morning. Better off on a lumpy couch.
I had a 25-inch TV that just went out. I'm really not looking forward to moving that son of a bitch. I can remember even when the little small sets were heavy. Oh, and of course, my dad lived in a trailer house. You know, my mom and dad were separated when I was growing up. My dad lived down in his trailer house down the street, and I would go stay with him on the weekends. And he had a floor model TV in the living room with a busted tube on it, and on top of it was a little black and white TV set, and that's what we watched TV on. And he used the big TV as a stand for the little TV.
Right. I've seen that. Big one's too heavy to carry out of there. It just now it's the table.
All right, here we go. Check this one out. Click. I'm not buying that shit.
I thought it was going to
I loved it. I loved
his
it.
pretty little hand and pinch him.
Well, here's the thing. He had a chance to back out of that. As soon as that thing gave in the middle, I'd have backed out of that. I'd have known damn well what was going to happen. No, this idiot goes, oh, it's locked in place now. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's supposed to be locked in a V shape.
What asses. Fatality ladder wins. Oh, we're not at number one yet. I think number one may be the best, in my opinion. Of course, you tell me in the comments after the show is over with. I don't think you could pay me enough to host one of those things. I'd be nervous every time, and I would sell them. I would be afraid that the cheap ass, worthless shit that I was trying to sell on the show would fail me like it has these people, and make me look like an ass for trying to sell it to someone. He's not okay. 3 of his ribs are busted. I don't know what became of that guy, but good Lord, how do you come back and show your face after doing something like that? And he's down there on the floor gasping for air going, I just didn't have it locked in place. Please continue to buy the product.
Right. Yeah. What an idiot.
That was ass-tastic.
Can you imagine you're the guy that made these ladders, and then you put these people on TV to sell your product, and then you see that happen? You got to just throw the frickin' papers behind your head and just go forget it.
Well, that wasn't the first time that happened with that particular product. There's another YouTube video out there that I started to show, but this one here is the most popular, so I showed it instead because it's funnier. Where this guy is being interviewed, and he was a host of one of these shows, and he had to sit there and do this demonstration of this ladder, and something very similar happened to him when he tried to do that particular demonstration. He actually was standing up on it when it happened to him. That did look painful. That guy's brain was not locked into place. Yeah, that's about right. All right, here we go. We made it to number one there, Joneser.
All right, I am excited.
What could top any of this shit? Let's get it up here where y'all can see it. Here we go.
One. And the nice thing about these practice katanas, that hurt. Oh, that hurt big time. A piece of that the tip just got me, Odell.
Did he cut himself with the sword?
That got me good.
He
You
just
all right? A
stabbed
piece of that
himself. When
tip
he hit
just
that
got
thing,
me.
shattered, and a piece of it went inside of
right
his body.
now.
He stabbed himself.
We may need emergency surgery in the studio.
Call the amber lamp. He needs to go to the horse.
Okay, you need to replay that. You need to replay that because I didn't even see what he did.
All right, let me see if I can do that. All right, here we go, folks. Instant replay. Just the tip.
1101 1816 is the item number on this one. And the nice thing about these practice katanas. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt big time. A piece of that the tip just got me, Odell. Oh, that got me good. You all right? A piece of that tip just got me.
Got him in the side, I think.
We may need emergency surgery in the studio.
Well, dude, if you don't know how to swing a sword, don't swing it. Especially a real one.
Well, the thing about it is, if that thing had been made out of real tempered steel, it wouldn't have shattered on just by hitting it on a goddamn table. First of all,
it's a
so it was obviously made out of die cast. Yeah, it's a die cast piece of crap, and he's sitting there banging it on the damn table. It's an ornamental.
Not
sword,
even a $50 sword.
No, it's not real. It's an ornamental sword that's meant to be put on display, not actually used. And he's sitting there banging this thing on the table as hard as he can, and then it splinters, and a shard of it goes inside of his freaking body. And yeah, I thought about that when he said the tip of it went in. I was thinking, yeah, he done cut the tip off. You know what I'm saying? Ouch. Yeah, okay, I'm buying that now. Yeah, what a it's a keeper. It will kill.
I'm speechless. What a dumbass. Like, okay, if it's an ornamental sword, then why are you showing how durable it is? It's not supposed to be put to the test. It's a freaking piece of art, right?
I'm not going to show it on this show, but there is a show out there, and there's YouTube videos of these idiots. Look, I'm a proud redneck. I live down here in the South. I have the Southern twang in my voice and everything. There are some people down here that, you wonder if their family tree is just a straight branch and doesn't have anything coming off of it. They have a show called The Cutlery Show. And all they do is sell freaking swords and knives and big ass machetes and shit like that on there. And I swear to God, this idiot cuts himself on the show every time he shows off that fucking shit. And it's all over YouTube. Apparently, it's a real deal, man. I started to show some of that on here, but it was ridiculous, and so I did not. These were more funny, I thought. But yeah. I watched a bunch of Forged in Fire I missed last season. Funniest shit I've seen on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's my goal here on the late night show. It sounded like it hit in his chest. I mean, it was somewhere right.
That's how it looked to me. Like it caught him right. Yeah, like right there.
Looked like it bounced and hit his chest. Yeah, it was a shard of metal when the blade shattered. Tempered steel is not supposed to shatter like that, so it wasn't. It was die cast.
Is it a toy?
It says it's a toy. It says lifetime warranty, but his lifetime may not be too long. Yeah, I don't know.
What if that would have hit him in the neck?
Yeah, you know that would have been horrible. I mean, it's live television. All right, if they had a dump button, would they not have dumped that before it aired? So there's no dump button, or the idiot manning the dump button is not using it. So had it sliced his jugular open and blood was skeeting out of the side of his neck, I'm demonetized now for saying that. they would have showed that live on television, the man bleeding out on television. Yeah,
Well, it
it
wouldn't be
broke.
the first time.
He slammed it down on the table, and it shattered into a million down pieces, and a shard of it went into his chest or whatever.
There's rib cage or somewhere.
Lodged in there, inches from his heart.
Who knows? Yeah. He knew he was not okay. He knew it right away. You can hear him like, oh, that hurt. That hurt a lot.
I bet it did hurt.
You know, he's sitting here trying to figure out how much trouble he's in live on television.
And you know, to add insult to injury, he probably got fired.
Oh, yeah. Or at least had a meeting with the safety director.
Things not to do on live television. Don't take die-cast swords and slam them on tables to show how durable they are.
Well, and here's the thing. These guys that do these, they're probably, trying to become actors or news anchors or whatever they're trying to do. This is probably the only gig they can get. So, I mean, this guy is not a sword salesman. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what not to do what he just did, obviously. He probably doesn't have a lick of common sense in his head. He's just trying to do a good job so he can get a better job, would be my guess.
Or try to be the next Billy Mays, which
right.
He's not.
Well, I doubt he's got a piece of the company or anything like that. If he does, he's an idiot. Because if you were the owner or somebody invested, you would know what a cheap piece of crap you were making, and you wouldn't do that.
Pretty much. I mean that.
You know what's funny is my niece, or no, my cousin collects ornamental swords, and she has a few that are not ornaments. They are a legit bladed weapon. And she does not handle them or swing them or do anything silly or try to slice carrots or throw something in the air and try to chop it or none of that crap. Because she knows either one, this is an ornamental sword and is not made for that, or two, this is a bladed weapon and I'm not trained to swing it.
That's a good point, Joner. All right. So I've got a samurai sword. It's a real deal. Wasn't made back in the samurai days or anything. It's just a forged tempered steel sword. You can see the temper line down the blade. It's meant to be put on display and looked at,
right.
It's beautiful. Okay. And yeah, it's sharp as hell, but here's the thing. I'm not trained in martial arts or whatever, or swordsmanship. So I could hurt myself just going around like Star Wars Kid swinging that thing around. And if you've ever watched Star Wars Kid, he's got a stick in his hand pretending it's a lightsaber and he beats himself up with it. So if it were a real sharp sword, he would probably be slicing shit off of himself.
Right. Well, and they have the ones that are like foam rubber and you can hit each other with. And that's the
go if you want to do that, go get the Nerf sword and play with your friends. Whatever.
Exactly.
And don't forget to set the rooster back tonight. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. This is the night that we get a little extra sleep. Blind Fury. Never seen Blind Fury. Have you seen Blind Fury?
No, I have not.
Speaking of movie time, I had a movie time here recently on a Friday night. I'm thinking about doing that again, but I don't know when would be a good time. I want to try to do this once a month for patrons and channel members. And we had a really, really good time the last time. And I had one of my patrons, that would be Manic Plastic, contacted me and wanted to know we were going to do it Friday night. And I'm like, no, wasn't really planning on that because I have to have time to set it up, first of all. And second of all, I need to have a way of finding out what people want to watch. So I'm probably going to put some polls up, here for members only on YouTube and over on Patreon. to see what kind of movies you guys want to see. I'm a big fan of the Grindhouse fare personally. I love those old Grindhouse movies, and there's such a plethora of things to choose from. You can choose from terrible sci-fi movies. You can have sexploitation movies, such as Lethal Weapons, if you've ever heard of that. Deadly Weapons, I think was what it was called. She had deadly weapons on her chest. There's blaxploitation, which you have to understand the times, and you have to understand that while we're not racist, we will watch this stuff and laugh at it. And then you have the zombie movies and the horror movies and the splatter movies. And I'm not a big fan of splatter movies, and I'm certainly not a big fan of Italian cannibal movies, although I do have a couple of them, some of the worst of the fare that there ever were, just so I can have them in my collection and say that I have seen them and watched them. I'm a big fan of the zombie movies, and I'm talking about the Day of the Dead kind of stuff, the
Romero stuff.
Yeah, the good shit. Yes, the one that was in the shopping mall is my favorite. Dawn of the Dead, kung fu movies. Yes, there's some hilarious. One of my favorite kung fu movies is got to be the one with Sonny Chiba in it, the Street Fighter. Have you ever seen that? They made 3 of those, and then they had Sister Street Fighter, and I've never seen Sister Street Fighter.
I actually agree with Susudio's comment here. My favorite is the Chinese Connection with Bruce Lee. That's kind of funny that she says that. That's my favorite kung fu movie of all time.
What was the one? That was, I think it was Bruce Lee's last movie. He might have been killed while he was making that movie. I can't remember.
Oh, the one with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. It's like he's got to go up this tower or whatever.
That's a good one, but he's not in a lot of it. There's a great nunchuck scene in that though with him, and I love me some Bruce Lee. The Big Boss was another one that I really like.
They actually had to tell him to slow down because the camera couldn't keep up with his hands when he was at full speed.
Dude was just something else, but you watch a few Bruce Lee movies and you start to get the theme, and a lot of the theme is usually Bruce Lee does not wish to fight, and he's doing everything to not fight. And then eventually someone pops him in the lip and he
tastes the blood, and then he goes
crazy. And then there you go.
Enter the Dragon was probably one of the first kung fu movies that was released on the United States.
Great movie.
I mean that exactly the way I said it. It's pretty much released upon the United States. People had never seen this before. All the Bruce Lee and Circle of Iron, I love that. That was inspired by the Bruce Lee story.
I even like, there's a silly one that me and my cousin watched as kids where the guy had like gopher nunchucks and he had like a tongue that went, and he like fought a cow.
What was that parody of Bruce Lee? They Call Me Bruce. Did you ever see that one?
I have not.
Green Hornet. Yeah, that was he came to when he got to the United States, he played Kato in the Green Hornet. And it was kind of funny because in the United States, of course, it was
there's the movie. OBS knew what I was talking about.
Kung Pao. I have seen that. Oh,
it's like so stupid it's funny, in my opinion.
But Bill Dozer, the guy who did the Batman TV show, did a Green Hornet show.
They did a crossover episode.
Yeah, it crossed over into Batman. It had what was that guy? Van something or another played Green Hornet. But anyway, Bruce Lee played his driver, Kato, who drove the Black Beauty for him and was his I guess his manservant or whatever, butler or whatever he was. But he was the one with all the muscle. He was basically the muscle for the Green Hornet. All right.
Right.
Overseas, it was billed as Kato in the Green Hornet.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Well, I mean, even here in the States, like we're all like, you'd watch the scene and Kato would be taking out like 6 guys, and like the Green Hornet would walk into the room and like maybe take out one and then sit down in the chair and interrogate the guy.
Well, a lot of people are lost on the shtick of the Green Hornet, what he was trying to do. Or first of all, the Green Hornet, the police thought he was a bad guy,
right?
And that's what he wanted everybody to think. He wanted everybody to think that he was a crime lord, and that's why it was like that. I mean, he was the muscle for this crime lord named the Green Hornet, and that's the way he got the bad guys to fall in and catch them.
It wasn't so much that he thought he could stop crime; it was that he thought he could control it.
Yeah, and he was also, according to the radio show, the Lone Ranger's grandnephew.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was, because his father was actually a character that was portrayed on the Lone Ranger show. That was the Lone Ranger's nephew. And if I ever get around to doing a Lone Ranger deep dive, we will go into that.
I say I was just watching the old Green Hornet serials, black and whites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Now Comics did a kind of an update of that back in the 90s. That it's worth looking into if you haven't picked those up, Jones. What are we talking about here in the chat?
I was just trying to remember the name of the Bruce Lee movie that had Chuck Norris in it. They fought in the Coliseum. Was it the wasn't the Chinese Connection? It was the was it Fist of Fury? Or
I remember Chuck Norris was in one of the Bruce Lee movies. It was one of them where they go to the island or whatever.
They fought in the Coliseum at the end.
Wasn't there a Bruce Lee movie? Yes, it was. Don't remember the name of it. Okay. Iron Monkey was really good. All right. If I go on the internet to search for this, I will freeze up like a son of a gun.
Oh, I'll find it. I'll find it. Uno momento, por favor.
I will translate what he said in Spanish. He said, just 1 minute, please. I have a Topps Green Hornet comic book from the 90s.
The Way of the Dragon.
The Way of the Dragon. I have seen that movie. I've seen a lot of Chuck Norris movies and Bruce Lee movies. I've got a collection of Bruce Lee movies. It came in a little slip case. I don't know if the Topps comics were a continuation of the Now Comics, NOW Now Comics group. I don't know if you remember those comics or not, but they did an update of the Green Hornet, and basically they tied it in so that the serial Green Hornet was the original Green Hornet. His son was the Van Williams Green Hornet from the 1960s, and then his son of the 1960s Green Hornet was the one that they were portraying in the comics. And
so
what
they had
was
kind of like a Phantom vibe, like it was a passed on title, like Black Panther or something.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the Lone Ranger and the Green Hornet franchise were both done by the same people, but then at some point or another, the Green Hornet franchise was sold off to someone else. So then they separated them at that point when that happened. So the Green Hornet could never actually directly reference the Lone Ranger without paying royalties to the owner of that copyright or the trademark or whatever. The way they got around it in the Now Comics was there was a picture over the fireplace of the ancestor, is what they called him. And he had a powder blue suit on with a white hat with a red neckerchief around his neck, riding a white horse. who was rearing up, but they never said who he was. They just
Right.
called him the ancestor.
Wink, wink.
Oh, wait, it might be a Now Comics Green Hornet book. I got to look for it. Yeah. And I have some in the long box collection that's under my bed. I'm probably going to have to dig those out someday. But yeah, those are worth reading. And what's funny about it, I think that at one point or another, it wasn't working out for the company. The idea that they had, I liked the original idea that they had. It was this guy's son, and it wasn't Bruce Lee Kato. It was a girl karate artist was Kato for him. He had a girl Kato, which is fine. I mean, it's just an update. It's not, we're not replacing this guy or saying this never happened. We're just saying this is what's going on today. But on like his first or second mission, he gets killed.
No,
they weren't killed. And they bring the Van Williams Green Hornet back out of retirement to take over. And then he gets the next Green Hornet to take over. And Kato, the Bruce Lee Kato, becomes his helper in those comics. So it like I said, it started out pretty good, but it didn't go over as well as they thought it would. So they kind of did a mid-season soft reboot kind of.
Sure. You know, and it's kind of got that same vibe of like the Anthony Hopkins and the Antonio Banderas Zorro, where there was an old master and he's passing it on to the young apprentice.
I liked those movies. As a matter of fact, my wife likes them a lot more than I do because she's enamored of Antonio Banderas. She's really enamored of him. Anyway, but yes, I enjoyed those Zorro movies. They made 2 of them, I think. Did they ever make a third?
I don't think they did, but I enjoyed them both. The first one more so.
Yeah, the first one was really good, and it was much better than that Lone Ranger Drick that they put out here a few years ago that was awful.
Yeah, they are doing a Bass Reeves television series. I believe Bass Reeves is the inspiration, the real life inspiration for the Lone Ranger.
Okay.
He was a bounty hunter in the Wild West, you know, and he was African American, which is unheard of back then, but he was very, very skilled and very effective in what he did. And they say that the Lone Ranger character is actually based off him, and they whitewashed him.
Yeah, and I could believe that, especially for the time.
Right.
Fran Stryker, I believe, was the pen name that they used for that. But one of the reasons why, and if you remember the theme music for the Lone Ranger and also the Green Hornet, is some classical music. The first one is the William Tell Overture for the Lone Ranger. And then it's the Flight of the Bumblebee, if I'm not mistaken, for the Green Hornet. The reason that they used that was because all that music was royalty free. I mean, it was copyright free. It was in the public domain, so they could use that music for the radio show without having to pay anybody any money.
Makes sense.
But you know what's really funny about that? Here a while back, we were talking about Jimmy Hart on the show. We're doing a little wrestling there. And I was talking about how the Lone Ranger showed up on Memphis Wrestling. And this was a Jimmy Hart production, folks. So you know it wasn't really the Lone Ranger. It was actually Plowboy Frazier who came out. And it's hilarious. If you've never seen the bit, go to YouTube. You can find it in a lot of different spots. But the thing is, I introed that with a little bit of music from the old Lone Ranger television show with the William Tell Overture in it, and got copyright ID struck for it. And had to go back and replace the music with another version of the William Tell Overture. So be careful.
Right. So even if the music's in the public domain, that particular composition of that music
may not be. That's correct. That is correct. Let's try to catch up with the chat here real quick. When they're singing in the car, the carpenters and crying, and then the hood blows up and they crash. What you talking about?
Oh, Tommy Boy movie.
Okay. Bass Reeves was actually a Texas Ranger. And didn't the deer come back to life too? Yes, I did. Jet Li movies. Jet Li played a character called Black Mask who looked just like Kato to me. Very fave, newish one of mine is Ninja Assassin with that kid Rain. Good story, good fights. Anything with ninjas in it has to be good. I've got a collection of all the ninja movies. Might have to do it.
We were at work talking about this kung fu fights and stuff in movies, and there's one with The Rock and the guy that played Stifler, where his dad like hires him to go to South America to catch him, and The Rock ends up fighting these guys in the jungle, and one of the guys kicks him around pretty good. And that particular guy, I cannot remember his name, but he's a legit martial artist. He was actually famously in the Ninja Turtle movies. He was one of the Ninja Turtles kick flipping, and he was so good in the first Ninja Turtle movie that they actually let him be in the second movie as the Pizza Boy. I don't know if you remember, they had a pizza boy, I don't know, it was Kano or Kato or what he was, but the guy later when you see him in the rundown with The Rock, dude, the guy's doing these crazy kicks and flips and these martial arts moves, and I'm surprised that he never really got big name recognition. I mean, I can't even remember his name or a movie franchise behind him, because I mean, in the 90s and all the way up, he was hot, but never just broke through.
You know what always got me, and this always happened in Kung Fu movies especially. Well, you have like Bruce Lee, he's one man, and he's going to fight 10 men, 11 men, 12 men, and they got him surrounded. And you got one man will come out of that group and start fighting Bruce Lee. Stop looking at the fight that's in the foreground. Look at the men in the background. They're all standing back there just doing this.
No, well, they're waiting their turn for the choreography.
Exactly. If one man cannot defeat 10 men, because if 10 men dogpile one man, there's no way. Now, I don't care if you are a karate expert. If 10 people dogpile your ass, you're going down. But you can't have that happen in a Kung Fu movie. He's got to fight them all off. But, that's just reality. Speaking of which, Joneser, I've got a question for you. This just came to my mind suddenly. How would you like to do a show on one of these days about reality when it comes to martial arts and what happens when reality meets, say, the bullshit martial artist?
I would love that. I mean, I'd have to say from the get-go, I am not a trained martial artist, and I don't know bupkis, but I can tell you what my eyes and ears have seen and heard,
I know body Kung Fu and about 3 other Chinese words.
Right.
So, the thing is, one of the things that really got me was there are a ton of these grifters out there, and they have martial arts studios. They have students who worship them. There's one of them who has mastered the mind punch, and all he has to do is do like this, and men just fall down around him.
Yeah, when they want to and cooperate. Yeah, one of my favorite things to watch on the internet are the videos when these bullshit artists actually go into a real tournament.
That's what
and get
I'm talking about.
Shit kicked in.
That's what I'm talking about. And that I think a show showing some of that would be worth watching for the hilarity.
Well, I mean, and it happens all the time, and Steven Seagal is another one of those ones. I saw this comment, and he's one of those ones a lot of people, tend to rip on, but Steve's legit. Like, he knows how to do some stuff. Now when you watch some of those demonstrations, they can be a bit comical because they are demonstrations. So those people are cooperating with Mr. Seagal, but you can watch demonstrations where he is showing those moves. And Mike has a point there that if it is possible in a real life scenario to be attacked by multiple people at once and defend yourself, in those type of scenarios where he's doing that, that's about as real as it gets. In a situation like with 20 guys, he's going to be the first to admit there's no way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the other thing is, there was a practitioner of martial arts back in, I want to say, the late 60s, early 70s. And this grifter had a dojo in Chicago, and he actually instigated a dojo war in which one of his students got killed in it. But he's most famous for the comic book ad that you probably remember in the back of the comic books for Count Dante, the deadliest man alive.
Right.
And you can send off 25 cents and you can get the dim mock pamphlet that tells you how to do the dance of death and get your own Black Dragon Society patch. And if you were kind of like me, you sent off your money and you got the book. The book didn't teach you anything, but you put the Black Dragon patch on your shirt so the bullies would think that now you knew Kung Fu and will leave you alone. That doesn't work, folks.
And here's the thing when it comes to these BS artists, as far as these martial artists and people, this extends to other sports and other combat sports. Like you look at the state of pro boxing. Nothing is stopping me from putting a towel over my shoulder, walking to the local YMCA or the gym, watching a guy who's sparring or whatever, and then me presenting myself as some boxing coach when I don't know shit, and I could talk to this guy and start working with him, and no one's stopping me from doing that. And the problem with the state of the sport is there's a lot of people doing that, and their legitimate coaches and trainers are not around like they were. It's the same in like UFC and stuff like that. And you can only take a guy so far when you don't know anything. But I mean, say you get lucky, the kid you're talking to, he doesn't need to be taught nothing. He's knocking people's heads in, and you're just sitting here collecting your percentage and, whispering in his ear whatever you think sounds good. Hey, work the jab, whatever. But people do this. And that's why the state of boxing is the joke that it is now, compared to what it was back in its heyday.
Well, boxing has a storied history behind it. I think back, and of course, I don't remember these days because it was before my time, folks. But as a historian, I remember reading about the bare knuckle days when the boxing ring was actually a ring. Okay, it was stakes put in the ground with some ropes around it, and that was about it. And
the backyard,
and the rules were that if the fight didn't finish today, we would come back tomorrow and finish. Or if it got broke up by the police, which happened quite often, we will reschedule and finish this fight. And this was before the Marquis of Queensberry rules, of course.
Sure.
And that the bare knuckle days were bad because people legitimately got hurt
or killed.
Well, all right. Everybody knows who Jethro Bodine is on the Beverly Hillbillies. His name is Max Baer Jr.
His father
who was Max Baer Sr.?
Yeah, his father. He's heavyweight champion of the world. He actually killed 2 men in the ring.
Exactly. That's exactly. And that's one of the reasons why you don't have bouts anymore in boxing like that. They used to go 15 full rounds, and if you got up before the 10 count, the fight continued. There was no stopping the fight.
They did a movie where it was featured Russell Crowe. He played Jim Braddock, and they had a guy play Max Baer in the movie, and the guy did such an unfair portrayal of Max Baer in that movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie. It's a good movie. I love the movie. It's a great movie, but if you're a boxing person and you know anything, they didn't really do Max. They played Max Baer out to be the villain in the movie. It was pretty sad because they had him like almost bragging that he killed the guy. In reality, Max Baer
it actually affected him. He was affected by that.
He never hit anybody he could hard as he could ever again after that. He would train like an idiot, and he would, if you'd see and he'd start winning fights, he'd start doing windmill punches and clowning around, and he'd stopped. He didn't go at it like he used to.
Yeah,
it bothered him
because he knew what he was capable of, and he didn't want to do that.
No, you don't want to kill anybody. And in fact, he supposedly put the guy's kids through college. And there's a story that he walked over to the widow and put his hands in her hands and said, you can break them with a hammer or whatever you want to do, And I mean, I don't know if it happened. It's been reported, but it's like, that's touching,
Look who showed up.
Hey, Bjorn.
The majestic one is here in the house with us today. What's going on, Bjorn? Bjorn is telling us that he's going to go to a Comic Con or a toy convention or something here, and as part of his job working at that toy store, and that his boss is going to be sponsoring the immortal Sergeant Slaughter. So, Bjorn, you're going to have to keep us updated about that. We want to hear more. We are absolutely enamored of that. Raging Bull was a very, very, very good movie.
Jake LaMotta's the name.
I think my grandpa sparred with him, or so I was told. I forget his name. Speaking of boxing now and boxing movies, there was one of these sob story forlorn stories that I can remember my mom taking me to at the matinees at the movie theater, called The Champ. Do you remember that?
It sounds familiar. You're gonna have
to. It had some little kid in it, and his dad was like a former heavyweight champion of the world, and he always called him the Champ and all that. And they lived in poverty, because the boxers didn't make no money, and if they did, they spent it all. And at the end of the movie, he had a comeback fight or something or another, and of course, I think he got hit in the head too hard and died at the end. The kid bawled at the end of it. It was one of those cheer jerkers. I think the name of it was The Champ. But I just remembered it. Ricky Schroeder, yes, that was it. Yes. Ricky Schroeder played in that. That was one of the first movies he was in. Jake
John Voight was the Champ.
Ricky Schroeder was the kid. That's right. Yeah. John Voight. What did John Voight play? Don't tell me. Did he and Burt Reynolds play in that movie where they went canoeing down the river and Ned Beatty got called home?
Oh yeah. Gonna squeal like a pig, boy. Wee!
Oh my God. That may be a movie for movie night right there. Let's watch Deliverance.
You know what's funny is I seen an interview with Ned Beatty, and they asked him if they were going to do a sequel to that movie, if he'd be in. He said, only if I can get revenge for what happened to me.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing about that scene. Those hillbillies that they hired, they were local hillbillies for reals. And I think that guy went a little too far in that scene with Ned, and Ned didn't like that shit worth a damn. I don't blame him.
Who would? At what point is this acting and playing? And at another point, how Yeah, I would have been traumatized too.
Well, first of all, if I had read the script, I would be like, I'm not standing here in my tidy whities and let this guy do this to me. No. Bjorn's doing his dishes. Deer Hunter. Was John Voight in the Deer Hunter, and didn't he win something for that? OBS wants to know.
I want to say that is true.
And Alex says apparently that scene really traumatized. Well, of course it did. That's why he's not going to play in a damn sequel. You can't do a sequel to that anyway.
No, it was a joke question. They weren't really doing a sequel. And he answered it in a joking way, like, well, only if I get to have revenge on the guy, you know?
Well, I think they did have revenge on the guy in the damn movie. They killed his ass and then buried him, and then of course the dam was going to flood the area up with
right
building out there. And of course, the way it ended, they knew they had done that, but there was no way they could prove that they had done that, and then they had to live with that for the rest of their lives.
Right. Well, that Deliverance is
that's the name of the movie, Deliverance.
Yeah.
And it's based upon a book. And as bad as you think the movie is, the book is 10 times worse.
They usually are.
Once again, I'm going to have to let everybody know that tomorrow I'm not going to be here. I've got to be somewhere else. Does that mean that I won't have a show at all tomorrow? It depends on how I'm feeling when I get home. I might pop online and do a quickie. It won't be a real hangout. It might be me opening some toys, which I really don't have anything to open, but except the phone booth, which I never got a chance to open last Sunday because it was such a shit show. But I think tonight we've gone the gamut. I mean, we've done what I said we were going to do, and then we got all hung up on different movies and stuff.
You even got me to go, wait.
You guys that are patrons of mine and you guys that are channel members of mine, I'm gonna put a poll up. We're gonna find out what we want to watch for our next movie night. I need to find out when the best time for you guys, because I want as many people that want to see these things to come in as possible. And anybody that's already been to one, Mike B's one of them. I go all out when I do these things. I'm going to show you not only the movie, but I'm going to give you an experience to go along with it. So it's kind of worth it. What you got going on over there at the Motu Jones channel?
Oh, we're buried to death in toys. I did find a few. Found me a Foot Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
Toy store there in the mall. I was pretty happy for that. I got a couple in from Big Bad Toy Store. We got the new Trap Jaw, the one they probably should have done in the first place. I like these kind of window box, like it kind of met that idea in the middle.
Yeah, I like that too.
And then Man at Arms we should have got in the first place.
Yeah, they made you buy another one, didn't they?
Yeah, it's my third, but the other two I'm probably going to get rid of because this is the one I always wanted. So that's what I got going on, and all the other millions of things I haven't opened up yet.
Well, you know, speaking to OBS here, she don't know how to do that stuff on the computer. Look, you got a Chromebook. You don't have to have a camera. You don't have to have a microphone. All you have to do is to hit the StreamYard link and go in there and don't let it turn that stuff on. That's what I Like Salt did. He just sat down there in the bottom. You never saw his face. He never said a word. Now, he did participate in the private chat that we could all see. And he watched the whole movie. And he, not only that, but Susudio was in there lampooning it with me and Mike Fee. And he enjoyed listening to us sit there and do the Mystery Science Theater 3000 bit across that movie. So, you know, you don't have to have anything but the Chrome web browser on your Chromebook and hit the link that I send out. And of course, I know that you're not actually on the Patreon or actually a channel member. You actually send me money every once in a while and send me gifts. And so I can send you the link in your email just like I always do, and you just follow it. I mean, and you don't have to appear. You don't have to say a word. You can just sit right down there by your little lonely self in the green room and listen to us and watch it just like a regular show if you want to.
Or you can jump
And
in
Mike
and lampoon it with us.
Yeah. Mike Fee uses a Chromebook. And like I said, me and Jones are probably going to have to work it out because I would like for Joneser to be there for one of these. And
I would like to too, but I mean, I've been pretty busy work.
Yeah. And so have I. It's just a matter of, okay, this is Friday night, and usually it's not really night. It will be after the time changes, and then the days get shorter. It'll start getting dark around 5 o'clock. But 5 o'clock's generally when I start it, and it run. Usually these things run for an hour and a half or so. So you're looking at 2 hours. So 5 to 7, because I got to be in bed by 7 anyway on a Friday night if I got to get up and work Saturday. So, maybe I'll try sometime when I'm off work. Well, that you know how to contact me, girl. You just tell me when's the best time for you, and we'll work it out so you can be there for one of these. I really don't know what your schedule is, but I know that you usually come and see me on Saturday night, but you don't see me much on Sunday. You watch a replay on Sunday because you got to go to work on Sunday, and I know that. So we'll figure something out on that. And yes, so Mike B says that we need you to be at movie night there, Joneser.
No, and I wanted to be at the last one, but I think I had my little one with me that night.
Yeah, you had to take care of Lyric and be dad, and hey,
right.
That's more important than anything else.
And that probably wasn't going to be a movie he would have enjoyed anyway.
Well,
he might have enjoyed it, but he probably shouldn't have watched it.
Well, it probably would have been a little scary for him at his age, but he probably didn't need to be in there for the comments either, because we were being adults. It was an adult night. Clocks go back tonight. Don't forget to do that. Most of us now have phones and computers that do that for us, but if you got any analog clocks in the house, you probably need to turn them back before you hit the sack. I imagine that Ozzy and them are still at it over there on Oz's channel. Go over there and hang out with them if you want to stay up. But you know what the saying was, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So we'll see you guys next time. In the meantime, have a good journey. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, folks, but keep your notification bells rung. I might show up and do something quick. In the meantime, good journey, and next time we'll see y'all. I'll see you in a minute there, Joneser.
Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.